Hi, are you home? Yes, I'm coming out now. Hai ran out of the house, holding a baseball cap and putting it on his head. He called back into the house, Mom, I'm going out with Min for a bit, okay? Mrs. Hoa's voice echoed from inside. Go, but you better be back before afternoon. Otherwise, I'll beat you black and blue. Remember, you have tutoring with your teacher at 2:30. I know, Hai replied with a grimace, as if this lecture was one he knew by heart. You think you know it all, don't you? Go on and play, but if your average score for this semester falls below 8 after exams, I'll pull you out of school. I know, Hai repeated. With that, he climbed onto the back of Min's bike and they sped off towards Mrs. Bay's house, as planned. Upon arriving at Mrs. Bay's house, the two boys got off the bike and respectfully approached her. She was sitting, fanning herself. Good afternoon, Mrs. Bay, they greeted. Mrs. Bay chuckled. You too are here, huh? Come, have some water, children. So, what story do you want to hear today? As she spoke, she handed them 2 almond cookies, which were already laid out on a tray, and a glass of herbal winter melon tea she had prepared. Min, acting as their spokesperson, said, Grandma, today we want to hear a bit about the cycle of reincarnation. We're curious about where people go before they're reborn. The old monks and nuns say you have to drink the porridge of forgetfulness and cross some bridge. Can you tell us about that, Grandma? The reason they asked was that Mrs. Bay was a medium in their village. Her specialty was to communicate with the deceased, journeying down to the underworld to summon family members for those who needed guidance or help. Mrs. Bay discovered her ability after almost drowning and being rescued by a minor shaman. He realized her unique power and took her as his disciple, teaching her the craft. As a result, Mrs. Bay had journeyed to the spirit world many times and was well-versed in such tales. All right, she said, today I'll tell you boys the story of the porridge of forgetfulness, also known as the Elixir of Oblivion or Lady Meng's soup. The 2 boys nodded eagerly. Yes, Grandma, please tell us. Now I'll begin, Mrs. Bay said. Hai and Min listened intently, sipping their drinks and munching on cookies. There is a place in this world, home to countless wandering souls. No grass, trees, flowers, or rocks grow there. All around, as far as the eye can see, is an endless desert. That place is Huang Quan in the netherworld. There, a woman named Lady Meng resides. In her youth, she was a cunning and intelligent woman, skilled in cooking soup. In truth, Lady Meng's original form was a snake spirit from the That Sun Mountains in Anjiang. One day, while King Yama was patrolling the mortal realm, he passed through this area and sensed an incredibly powerful surge of negative energy. He discovered this snake spirit hiding in the mountains. They fought for 3 days and 3 nights. The demon spirit's powers were formidable. Had King Yama not unleashed his ultimate attack, he might have lost. After being defeated by King Yama, he realized that if this powerful demon spirit contributed her magic to the underworld, it would greatly increase its strength. Thus, he offered her a position in the underworld. And from that day on, the woman known as Lady Meng appeared. Lady Meng's soup was brewed from 8 drops of tears and took a very long time to prepare. Its power could reach through 9 layers of clouds. Any ghost who drank it would forget everything from their current life. After many years of service, Lady Meng, now an old woman, was too frail to continue cooking the soup and guiding souls across the bridge. Fortunately, her daughter had grown up and was ready to inherit the role. So, the old Lady Meng entrusted this task to her daughter. Her daughter's name was Mui. One day, a great wind raged through Huang Quan for an entire day and night, making the sky as black as ink. A master arrived at Lady Meng's abode. His name was Grandmaster Da Tich Kong Dan. He brought Mui a packet of flower seeds. These seeds were special because they could grow in a place where no other plants could survive, year-round, without blooming. These were the seeds of the Red Spider Lily. Mui was only 24 years old in mortal years, but in the underworld, she was a mere 300 years old, incredibly young and naive. Suddenly, Mui's mother, the old Lady Meng, was receiving a limping male spirit. He spoke to her in an angry tone. I truly can't cry, old woman. You keep forcing me to cry. I'm not in the mood to cry, how can I? If you want my life, take it, but you won't get my tears. Lady Meng said nothing. She looked inside and called to her daughter, Mui, bring the soup out quickly, mother needs it. From inside, Mui came out, carrying a bowl of Lady Meng's soup. "Here's the soup, mother." The old man Qin then sniffed the soup and exclaimed, "Gods above, what kind of soup is this? It smells so fragrant." "This soup is brewed from 8 drops of tears," Lady Meng explained. "Many sorrows are slowly melted down, the bitter parts discarded, and the sweetness of a lifetime of hardship remains. It becomes a pot of delicious soup. A person's life is just like that." Old man Qin then hastily said, "Lady Meng's soup is so sweet, truly refreshing to drink before reincarnation." Lady Meng seemed about to say something more, but realized this was an unspoken rule of this place, which every soul had to follow before reincarnation. "Since you won't give me tears, what good and valuable thing do you have to offer in return?" Old man Qin then sadly replied, "My lord, I've lived my entire life struggling with empty hands, with nothing precious on me." Lady Meng simply reached into his breast pocket and pulled out a bronze hairpin. "What is this? Don't pretend anymore." Old man Qin then stood up, extending his hand and said, "This one hairpin I cannot give you." Suddenly, a puff of white smoke appeared. Lady Meng, who moments ago was an 80-year-old woman with a wild mess of white hair, now transformed into a beautiful woman, dressed in white, with neatly tied hair and a captivating smile. Lady Meng placed the hairpin in her hair. Old man Qin then instinctively looked at the scroll Lady Meng held, his eyes wide with surprise. Seeing this, Lady Meng explained, "The Underworld's records include the Book of Yin and Yang, which records the birth, death, and lifespan decreed by heaven. This one I hold is the Yang scroll, which records a person's merits and sins throughout their life." Lady Meng unrolled a bamboo scroll she held in her hand and flicked her wrist. Instantly, lines of red characters appeared on the scroll. "It states you killed 37 people on the battlefield." Old man Qin then laughed heartily. "Lady, as a soldier, how could I not kill?" Lady Meng looked at him, then slowly recounted as if she knew his every deed. 27 years ago, you became a soldier, but why did you kill an entire family of 60, from old to young? And this brothel you ransacked, it belonged to a singing girl, didn't it?" Old man Qin then's eyes welled up with tears. "This hairpin belonged to Ut Fuang. Before I left for the army, I sold my cattle and buffalo. Then I went to a jeweler to commission this hairpin as a gift for Ut Fuang. So Ut Fuang, she was that singing girl. Ut Fuang told me to wait for her return and we would get married." At this, Lady Meng smiled, a knowing, sorrowful smile, as if she understood the complexities of the mortal world, but she couldn't help him. 27 years ago, Ut Fuang's entire family perished. When they arrived in the Underworld, they came to complain about you. You can no longer reincarnate. Old man Qin then's face unexpectedly contorted. A tear fell from the corner of his eye, landing quickly in the bowl of Lady Meng's soup on the table. Lady Meng saw this and continued, "Instead of enduring torment in this hell, why don't I just eat your flesh?" Standing beside Old man Qin then, Lady Meng's entire face became savage. Her 4 fangs protruded. She revealed her true form, a colossal snake spirit, and lunged forward to devour Old man Qin then. Grandmaster de condemn arrived at the entrance of Lady Meng's abode. Inside, Mui spoke to her mother in an annoyed tone. "Mother, this wandering soul's flesh is too tough to eat." Lady Meng looked at Mui and coaxed her. "Try to eat it, child. You were born foolish and not pretty, and you haven't grown up much either. I've heard the demon guards say that the previous Lady Mengs were all talented, born from the spiritual energy of heaven and earth, with beauty as captivating as mine. They say you were just picked up by me." "Nonsense, who dares to say such a thing? I'll tear their heads off," Lady Meng angrily retorted. "Don't be angry, mother. You are beautiful and I'm happy to see you. I don't find my own reflection hideous. We Lady Mengs are born with 7 spiritual orifices, all complete. But you, mother, made me lose one, leaving me with only 6, which is why I am so simple-minded." At that moment, the door creaked open. It was Grandmaster de condemn slowly stepping into the hall. The master asked, "Excuse me, are you Lady Meng?" Lady Meng looked at the Grandmaster from head to toe, her expression annoyed. "Good heavens, I just finished with this soul. Why is another monk here?" The Grandmaster approached Lady Meng and said, I, condemn, have come to Huang Quan with something to say to Lady Meng. Lady Meng sternly looked at the master. This is the Underworld. For 300 years, no living person has dared to come here. How did you manage to get here? Lady Meng then surmised, I know, today is the Hatch Dang Day, which occurs once every 300 years. On this day, Huang Quan is sure to be swept by strong winds. The living can use the wind to enter Huang Quan. What brings you here? The master clasped his hands, saying, I opened a path through Huang Quan to reach the Underworld. I came to the Underworld to meet King Yama. Lady Meng sat down at the table where she received souls and gently shook her head. No, you cannot, I cannot enter the Underworld. King Yama has taken something of mine, so I must go retrieve it. Cultivation is not easy. If I take another step deeper into Huang Quan, there will be no turning back. Drink this bowl of my soup and cast aside your past. Go back to where you came from. I must meet King Yama. Please help me, Lady Meng. We are not related. Why should I help you? The master took a dark cloth pouch from his robe pocket and said, Lady Meng is the mistress of Huang Quan. If you help me, this is a small token of Condemn's gratitude. He placed the dark cloth pouch before Lady Meng. She pulled a handful of flower seeds from the pouch. The Grandmaster said, Within the 4 realms of Huang Quan, there is no grass, no flowers, no leaves. That's why I brought these seeds. These are no ordinary flowers. They are the Red Spider Lilies, recorded in the Buddhist scriptures as being able to grow in Huang Quan. Mui, standing nearby, widened her eyes as if hearing this for the first time. Lady Meng spoke with annoyance, There's no need for flowers here. With that, she threw the seeds to the ground. Mui quickly picked up the seeds and examined them. Lady Meng stood up and looked at the Grandmaster. I hate it when living people come to Huang Quan. I've given my advice. I don't think you'll listen. If that's the case, as your Buddha once said, only a pure mind is difficult to find. With that, Lady Meng revealed her true form and declared, That wandering soul earlier was truly hard to swallow. Perhaps I'll eat you instead. You'll achieve purity, and so will I. The Grandmaster remained calm and asked, Earlier, I mentioned I had something to say, but I haven't been able to ask it yet. Will Lady Meng die? Having spoken, Grandmaster Condemn gathered his energy and flew up, level with Lady Meng, then launched a golden magical attack towards her. Lady Meng, in her snake spirit form, laughed maniacally, ready to attack. A moment later, Mui watched the battle unfold from behind a large partition. The snake spirit wrapped around the master. He cast a spell on the snake's body, and immediately, dense golden characters appeared all over her form. At this moment, from behind the large partition, Mui screamed, Mother! Lady Meng turned to Mui and said, Don't come near me. Then she used all her strength to fling the master, sending him flying upwards, then crashing down. The snake spirit quickly transformed back into Lady Meng. She lay on the ground, gasping, and said, In this world, only the blood of an Arhat can kill Lady Meng. Have you reached such a stage in your cultivation? I apologize, but you have committed many evil deeds, devouring countless souls, with no chance of turning back. Amitabha. Lady Meng looked at Mui, her eyes welling up with tears. From now on, you will be the only Lady Meng in Huang Quan. Grow up quickly. After I die, you won't be able to reincarnate. Even liberation means living in the heavens. Don't blame this master, and certainly don't resent him. Yes, you must smile, don't cry. That way, people won't pity you and take advantage. With that, Lady Meng looked towards the Grandmaster and said, Master, many lifetimes ago, I was a demon spirit and devoured the flesh and blood of your entire family. That's why you've come today for revenge, despite going beyond the limits of Buddhism. Before I die, I still want to ask you one question. What exactly did King Yama take from you? It was a zither. Do you know that, after entering the Underworld, cultivating for a lifetime only to turn into nothing, you will be trapped in the netherworld forever? Is it worth it for a zither? Having spoken, Lady Meng let out a loud cry and turned into a cloud of dust. The soup in the kitchen also exploded, spilling broth all over the floor. The master was now surrounded by Underworld guards. He shed a tear and said, It is worth it. Year 2472 of the Underworld calendar, on the Hatch Dang Day, which occurs once every 300 years, Huang Quan was swept by strong winds. An Arhat arrived with the wind and killed Lady Meng. After that, Grandmaster Condemn was banished to the deepest part of the Underworld. 287 years later, the Underworld had a new demon guard named Tai. The other demon guards in the Underworld often made fun of the naive Mui, but Tai regularly came to visit her. The old Lady Meng, Mui's mother, had relied on him before her death, but he no longer remembered his previous life. However, he had never turned back. Once in the Underworld, there was no returning. That day, Tai led Underworld soldiers to Lady Meng's abode. Tai, now off duty, called out, "Mui, Mui, are you home?" A voice echoed from upstairs, "Wait a moment, I'm coming down." Tai immediately went upstairs and saw two male spirits holding Mui captive. Mui was naturally naive, and sometimes she forgot that she was the mistress of this place. She said, "Tai, if these demons kill me today, you must take care of my red spider lily. It hasn't bloomed yet." Tai replied with a look of helpless resignation, accustomed to Mui's antics. "The knife there holding to your neck is a jade-cutting knife. It's used to cut the heads off demons, not to kill you. How can these two insignificant spirits kill you?" One of the spirits retorted, "Hey, who are you calling insignificant, little demon? I'm talking about you too. How dare you cause trouble at Lady Meng's abode? Do you too have a death wish?" The two male spirits now looked annoyed. "Lady Meng's soup is so bitter, how can anyone drink it? Lady Meng wants to eat our flesh. What is Lady Meng's abode anyway? It's more like a human-eating furnace. You too, when you were alive, committed countless evil deeds and monstrous sins. You no longer have the chance to reincarnate, so we have to eat you, don't we? If you commit evil or sin, I will kill you and repay your sins." With that, a brawl erupted. Tai fought with the two demon spirits, careful not to damage Mui's precious red spider lily pot. After a long fight, the two demon spirits turned into dust. A moment later, Tai led Mui to the pot of Lady Meng's soup that was boiling on the stove. Tai suddenly pinched his nose and said, "Gods above, what kind of soup is this? It smells so awful. No wonder those souls don't want to drink it to reincarnate. If they don't drink it, I'll force them. What else can I do? I've tried my best, Tai." "Tai, I haven't seen you visit in a long time. Is anything wrong? You go to the mortal realm a lot. Why don't you tell me stories from there?" "What's so interesting about it? Every day, the souls I guide are all from the mortal realm. You should ask them. Now sigh. If I could go to the mortal realm for a trip, I'd surely be happy. I hear there are 4 seasons, with wild flowers blooming everywhere, unlike Huang Quan, where only these red spider lilies grow, and they don't even bloom." Tai looked at the withered, leaf-only flower in Mui's hand and said, "Bloom? What bloom? It's already like this, it's about to die." "I wanted to ask you, it's been almost 3 years now. I've taken meticulous care of it day and night, but why hasn't it bloomed? You said the red spider lily comes from the Buddha's land, but that's a lie." Tai then asked, "Oh, but where did this flower come from?" Before, King Yama mentioned wanting to pair us up. Tai was about to continue, but Mui, with her innocent nature, eagerly pulled him by the sleeve to the spot where he was sitting. "So, when can we get married?" "Good heavens, I was just joking. I've never been interested in women." "Nonsense. I heard the Underworld soldiers say you once slept with a demoness." "Who spread such a wicked rumor?" "It was Camtine." As soon as she finished speaking, Mui noticed a faint, sweet scent. She quickly ran around, trying to locate where the fragrance was coming from. She stopped at a bookshelf, sat down, and pulled back the tablecloth. To her surprise, she found a small boy in white robes hiding under the table. Tai also saw him and quickly embraced the boy. "How did you do your job today to leave this boy behind?" After a moment of searching, Mui discovered the boy under the table. Mui loved children, so she looked at the boy with a happy face and asked, "So cute. What's your name, little one?" "I'm Hoang Khang." Mui was talking to the boy, her head tilted, as if savoring a fragrant tea. "Hoang Khang, you smell so good." With that, Mui extended her long tongue and licked the boy's face. After all, the blood of a snake spirit still flowed through her veins, so such actions were normal. Seeing this, Tai quickly ran to stop her. Despite Tai's strong efforts to stop her, Mui approached closer and said, "Tai, let me hold Hoang Khang for a bit, just for a little while." Tai pointed at Mui as if to protect Hoang Khang. Look at the drool on your mouth. What are you planning? I'm just holding him for a bit. He then said in the resolute voice of an underworld guard, listen carefully, Mui. The underworld has its rules. You can only eat evil spirits who have harmed many people and cannot enter the cycle of reincarnation. You cannot eat little Hoang Khang. Mui knew the rules of the underworld, but with the instincts of a demon, she tried to distract Tai. She pretended to look out into the courtyard and dramatically exclaimed, King Yama, why has His Majesty come here? Hearing this, Tai quickly turned towards the door. Seizing the opportunity, Mui quickly bared her fangs and lunged to bite Hoang Khang. But luckily, Tai, anticipating her move, managed to grab the boy in time, shouting, Don't come near here, that's enough. Mui pouted, full of disappointment. Seeing this, Tai deliberately changed the subject, knowing that although Mui had the blood of a demon, her heart was kind. Even though she had impulsive urges like just now, deep down it was merely instinct, not completely malicious intent. Quick, get some soup for Hoang Khang to drink, then send him on his way quickly. That won't do, I haven't even checked his scroll yet. His sins are monstrous. How old is he that his sins are monstrous? He's not even 3 years old. How can you judge a person by their appearance? The masters say we shouldn't be prejudiced, understood. Mui went inside. Hoang Khang, who had been bewildered, now came back to his senses and started to cry. Does she want to eat me? Tai held him in his arms and comforted him. No, she doesn't want to eat you. She just thinks you smell good, that's all. Don't cry anymore. Seeing Hoang Khang crying incessantly, Mui went into the reception hall to find something to coax him into stopping. After a frantic search, Mui brought out the head of a man, whose face was painted with heavy makeup, like a traditional opera performer. His hair was tied in 2 buns, like a little girl's. She brought it before Hoang Khang and said, Hoang Khang, this head of mine can sing. Shall I make it sing for you to hear? Don't cry. With that, Mui pinched the head's ear, and the head immediately screamed, then sang, Don't dare to make trouble, just wrinkle your brows and show displeasure. Here, in the hidden palace with thin robes, a group of phoenixes cannot compare. Tai was annoyed and said, Stop singing. How can you sing such lewd songs for a child? As Tai was scolding her, the 3 of them suddenly froze when they heard a voice echoing from somewhere outside. Hoang Khang, where are you? Hearing that familiar voice, Hoang Khang quickly replied, Master. A puff of azure smoke descended from the sky and stopped in the middle of Lady Meng's abode. It flew towards the 3 people standing there and coalesced into a white-haired man in white robes. Tai looked at him with a mixture of fear and curiosity. Who are you? How dare you step into Huang Quan? The man clasped his hands respectfully and said, I am Than Enhan, a Taoist practitioner from Mount That Sun. I also have a small sect. Hoang Khang is the youngest disciple of our sect. Today, he was practicing soul separation and earth-body recovery and was accidentally swept into Huang Quan. His physical body is still intact. I hope, brother, you can return Hoang Khang's soul so he can go back. Tai was astonished. So, he's a soul. How old is he to have achieved such cultivation? Hoang Khang, seeing his master, was overjoyed and quickly reached out to touch him. However, his hand passed right through the master's chest, surprising Tai. As if understanding everyone's confusion, the master smiled and replied, It's like this. My true body is currently guarding Huang Quan. This is merely an illusion I sent to you. Huang Quan is a gate to the underworld. How can a living person enter it freely? This humble Taoist will return Hoang Khang to the entrance of Huang Quan. I will wait there. I apologize for the trouble. With that, Than Enhan clasped his hands respectfully, bid farewell to everyone, and vanished in a wisp of azure smoke. Tai sat down and said to Hoang Khang, My name is Tai, and I am a demon guard in this underworld. And that girl is Mui, Lady Meng of Lady Meng's abode. Remember, next time, don't play this game of separating your soul and body and getting trapped here again, or I'll let this girl eat your flesh. Having said that, Tai picked up Hoang Khang and carried him out, taking him home. 12 years later, at Lady Meng's abode, Mui was sitting by the window, tending to her red spider lily, waiting for it to bloom. She sighed, looking disheartened. Why won't my red spider lily bloom? In another 5 years, according to the Underworld's timeline, I'll be 600 years old. And my soup still has that awful smell. I hear the demon guards say that the soup of the previous Lady Meng's was incredibly fragrant and sweet, just like first love. It turned out that Mui still hadn't figured out the recipe to make Lady Meng's soup as fragrant as her mother's. She continued her monologue. My Lady Meng's soup seems to be missing an ingredient. She tried to recall old memories of watching her mother cook, wondering what that missing ingredient could be. Back then, when she was around 300 years old, her mother had taught her that Lady Meng's soup was made from 8 drops of tears. 1. Tears of life. 2. Tears of illusion. 3. Tears of suffering. 4. Tears of regret. 5. Tears of longing. 6. Tears of sickness. 7. Tears of separation. Reaching the 8th, her mother suddenly grew sad. Mui, seeing this, asked, "Mother, what's the 8th one?" Her mother forced a smile and changed the subject. The 8th one, Mother forgot. Then how will Mui be able to make the soup? My child, don't rush. When you grow up, you'll know how. Back in the present, Mui was sitting and thinking when suddenly, a gust of wind blew into her room from nowhere. Mui, being naturally timid, was startled and hid under the table. A girl in a black dress entered from outside, a red flower in her hair. She held a bottle of wine and exclaimed, "Is anyone here? Is anyone here?" Seeing Camtine enter, Mui ran out happily, as they were good friends in the underworld. "Camtine, why are you smashing up my Lady Meng's abode?" Camtine, looking like she'd had a bit too much to drink, turned her gaze upwards and said, "Who am I? Who am I?" Mui smiled, looking helpless. She was too familiar with this scene. Truth be told, Camtine often put on this act. "You are the princess of the underworld, holding sway over the 3 realms." "That's right, I am the princess of the underworld. Oh, but why did you come here today? Have you seen any living souls here today?" "No, only you came today. Tai hasn't visited today either." Camtine spoke in an informing tone. "Today, King Yama left the underworld, so we need to be extra vigilant. And then I saw a living soul fly into Huang Quan. I chased him all morning but couldn't find any trace. In all of Huang Quan, only your Lady Meng's abode can hide mortals. It seems I'll have to turn your abode upside down today." After Camtine spoke, her accompanying guards understood and quickly went inside to search. "You can search, but be careful not to break my flower pot," Mui said. With that, Mui ran to embrace her pot of Red Spider Lily that hadn't bloomed yet. At this moment, Mui once again caught a familiar scent. She quickly followed the fragrance to the table where she had been sitting. She sat down, lifted the tablecloth, and to her surprise, saw a handsome young man in white robes with a red dot between his eyebrows hiding under the table. He looked up at her. Their eyes met. Mui smiled and said, "How ordinary." Camtine, finding nothing on the other side, was about to leave with her guards. But hearing Mui's words, she turned back and asked with a scrutinizing look, "What did you say?" "I didn't say anything," Mui replied. Camtine looked Mui up and down, her expression sharp. "If you're hiding something from me, I will punish you. I won't care about our friendship." Mui nodded, then gave a silly smile. "I didn't see any cute young man." Hearing this, Camtine realized there was someone hiding under the table. She pulled him out, tied him up, and prepared to take him away. The young man turned back to look at Mui, his eyes full of familiarity. "Mui, I'm Hoang Khang. Do you still remember me? Please save me." As if remembering Hoang Khang, Mui ran towards Camtine and the 2 underworld soldiers. Camtine saw this and signaled her 2 soldiers to stop. Mui ran to Hoang Khang and asked, "Hoang Khang, you've grown so big now?" Mui ran to grab the rope tying Hoang Khang and said to Camtine, "Camtine, I am, after all, the mistress of Huang Quan. Matters of Huang Quan must be decided by me." Camtine, King Yama's sister, was naturally mischievous and stubborn. Her brother had given her the title of Princess of the Underworld, granting her immense power over the 3 realms, which made her even more defiant and imposing. She angrily raised her voice. "Are you trying to fight me? Listen to me. Matters concerning Lady Meng's abode should be decided by Lady Meng." Since the 2 were close friends, Camtine didn't press the issue and led her soldiers away. Outside, Tai entered the hall, looked at Hoang Khang, and seemed to recognize him as the boy from years ago. "Living soul, who are you?" I am Hoang Khang, the boy you saved once. Do you still remember me? Ah, I remember. You are Hoang Khang. As they were talking, an underworld soldier called from outside, summoning Tai for an urgent matter. So Tai left with the underworld soldier. Now, only Hoang Khang and Mui were left in the hall. Hoang Khang stepped towards Mui. The mortal realm has many delicious delicacies. I can bring them here for you to eat, sister. Mui had always yearned to see the beautiful mortal world, but she only ever had the chance to visit it in her dreams, so she sighed. I can't go to the mortal realm. I only know of the myriad beauties of the mortal world, so vibrant and colorful, unlike my Huang Quan. It's like a desert everywhere with no sign of grass or trees. If you could regularly come here and tell me stories of the mortal realm, that would be wonderful. I only know how to paint. Hoang Khang smiled and replied, How about I wait for you and the princess to see if we can arrange it? Mui then asked, Aren't you afraid that one day I might not be able to resist eating you? Hoang Khang seemed unfazed by the question. He walked to the table where the withered red spider lily was, picked it up, and said, I have seen many rare and exotic flowers, but never this plant. Perhaps it wasn't cared for properly, which is why it withered. If you help me care for it meticulously for 6 more months, it will surely bloom. Okay. Hoang Khang nodded in agreement. As spring rain began to fall, Mui stood by the window near the red spider lily, letting the rainwater touch it, and spoke to herself. Hoang Khang said this early spring rain is very good for flowers. Then she turned and called inside, Hoang Khang. Hoang Khang stepped out of the room with a radiant smile, which instantly captivated Mui. He then placed a painting of a dish on the table before Mui and began to explain it. This wonderful sauce is made from fresh fish and tender, finely minced meat, stir-fried very quickly to make it incredibly fresh and delicious. This is a dish made from a very tasty bean flour. Ripe glutinous rice is pounded into cakes for the wrappers. This filling is also made of beans, then shaped into flowers and steamed gently, called flour cake. He continued, pointing to images of other dishes. And this is honey-roasted cake, with a layer of honey spread on top and baked in a pan to create a paper-thin cake that melts in your mouth, fragrant and unusually crispy. Mui's eyes welled up with tears, and she swallowed, her stomach rumbling with desire. I don't think any of these dishes are as delicious as you. The snake spirit's nature was stirring within her. Hoang Khang smiled and gently wiped Mui's tears with his sleeve. Then, from behind his back, he produced a hidden bowl of cherry tea and said, This is cherry tea personally prepared by me, incredibly fragrant and delicious. Mui spoke of something she had heard Cam Tyne say in private. Cam Tyne said that from winter to spring, you came here every day, so enthusiastically, you must have other intentions. Hoang Khang demurred and sat down. What intentions could I have for you? He then offered her a bowl of cherry tea, as if inviting her. Indeed, mortals only want a little of this. Mui, naturally timid, and believing this was a delicacy from the mortal realm, smiled and replied, How about you let me try a little? Hoang Khang, hearing this, spooned a little for Mui and asked, How is it? Is it to your taste? A moment later, Mui suddenly clutched her stomach with both hands and cried out, My stomach hurts so much. I forgot that beings in the underworld aren't supposed to eat food from the mortal realm. Hoang Khang quickly put the bowl down and rushed to support Mui. I'm so sorry, I didn't know. Mui, grimacing with discomfort, said, It hurts too much. Please help me upstairs. I think I need to lie down for a bit to ease the pain. Hoang Khang, hearing this, immediately helped Mui upstairs, laid her down on the bed, and blamed himself. It's all my fault, I was so foolish. Where do you keep your medicine? I'll get it for you to drink. Mui replied honestly, Mother said that whatever you want to eat, that will be the best medicine. Hoang Khang seemed to understand her meaning. He said, If I let you eat my flesh, I'll die. How can that be? Mui tossed and turned on the bed, sighing, My stomach feels like it's being cut by knives. It really hurts, it hurts so much. Hoang Khang, worried, quickly asked, So how do you eat? Little sister only likes to eat the fingers of demons and ghosts, both chewy and thick. Hoang Khang heard this and raised his finger, gazing at it as if it were the last time he would see it. Then he offered his finger to Mui to bite. She grimaced, but a moment later, she realized Mui was only licking it. He looked at her and she replied, "Don't be afraid, I won't eat you. I just need to look at you every day to feel happy." Hoang Khang spoke, as if releasing a long-held, secret sorrow. "Sister, I know that when I came to Huang Quan as a child, I was disturbed by you in a dream one night and couldn't sleep soundly. I often dreamt of you. Now I'm so scared that my fellow disciples will mock me and my master will scold me." Mui smiled and said nothing, which was unusual as she wasn't a silent person. That day, Mui woke up from a deep sleep and walked out of her bedroom into the living room. She quickly approached and sat down, gazing at Hoang Khang. He suddenly woke up. Mui looked at him, smiled, and said, "Thank you for taking my place on my tiring days." Hoang Khang just smiled, then spoke of another matter. "I once heard that the Underworld has a book of yin and yang that records the birth, death, and lifespan of mortals. The date and time of death are predetermined, aren't they? But you, sister, are here for hundreds of years, so there's no more defense for Hoang Khang. And to be honest, the book of yin and yang is divided into two scrolls, yin and yang. The one you hold is the yang scroll, which records a person's sins throughout their life. The yin scroll is the true book of yin. If it were stolen and someone deliberately erased their name from it to escape reincarnation, that would be no laughing matter. So it's hidden in the deepest part of the underworld, guarded by demon guards. It cannot be seen unless it's a special occasion." "So that's how it is, I understand." After a moment, Hoang Khang stood up and said to Mui, "I've been here too long today, I have to go. If my master finds out I left my body to come down here, he'll surely scold me." "I know, will you come early tomorrow then?" "Why should I come early, sister?" "No reason, I just want to see your living soul, then I'll be happier. If I see you for an hour, I'll be happy for an hour. If I see you for a minute, I'll be happy for a minute." Hoang Khang pondered this, as if he was beginning to understand Mui's feelings for him, but there seemed to be an invisible barrier. He said, "Don't say any more, sister." He turned and walked to the door, then looked back and said, "I'll come early tomorrow, all right?" Then he vanished, leaving Mui to watch him go, a wistful look on her face. The next morning, Hoang Khang arrived early, as promised. Mui ran down from upstairs, and they looked at each other with the innocent smiles of blossoming love. Hoang Khang went to the flower pot and carefully tended to the red spider lily that hadn't bloomed yet. Now, the red spider lily had bloomed. Mui brought water from outside to water the plant. Time flew by like an arrow. One day, Mui walked out of her room and spoke to Hoang Khang. "These past few days, when I was receiving souls, I paid close attention to your request. I've met hundreds of people, but none of them resemble her. Not every deceased soul immediately comes to Huang Quan, some linger in the mortal realm. Who is she anyway?" Hoang Khang then replied, "She is my beloved." Mui, who had never experienced love between a man and a woman, didn't even know what to call her feelings of affection for Hoang Khang. She pretended not to understand and asked, "Who is your beloved?" "My beloved is the person I like. She is very beautiful." Mui looked at Hoang Khang with a hint of sadness. She looked at the painting Hoang Khang had drawn of that girl. A line of text on it read, "Ngak Khan, that Sun Mountain." Hoang Khang then explained, "She is a fellow Taoist practitioner, my martial sister. We share the same master, and I call her senior sister. Senior sister fell ill with a critical illness and couldn't recover. I want to see her one last time. That's why I come to Huang Quan every day to wait. We are friends, after all, and have been for 300 years. Hearing these words, Mui felt even sadder. She looked at the painting and asked, "How much does this painting resemble her?" "About 80 to 90%. 80 to 90%, and she's already this beautiful. If she were real, she'd be even prettier. Am I not as good as her?" Hoang Khang looked at Mui for a long time and said, "Mui, your eyes resemble hers a bit. Can I borrow this painting for a while? If you look at it every day, perhaps you'll come to resemble her somewhat." "Here, you can hang it, just hang it up." Mui slowly took the painting, her hands trembling. "But why does my heart feel like it's being pressed by a heavy stone? I should be happy to have your painting, but I can't be." Hoang Khang understood her feelings but quickly avoided them. "Suddenly, I remembered I have something to do today. I'll come back tomorrow." With that, Hoang Khang quickly left through the door and vanished, leaving Mui to watch him go with a sad, mournful expression. Few days later, according to Underworld legend, that day was Day of Severed Ties. Camtine was drunk, swinging a large lantern around the room. Inside Lady Meng's abode, Mui was still mournful. Today, Mui had changed her clothes and let her hair down, tying only a small portion up, making her look more gentle and feminine than usual. Camtine, holding the large lantern, walked into Lady Meng's abode, approaching Mui, who was sitting there. She sadly asked, "When will Hoang Khang marry her?" Camtine asked this because, as close friends, she thought she understood Mui's feelings. When Mui heard Camtine's question about Hoang Khang, she forced a smile. "Hoang Khang is not from the Underworld, so how can he marry me?" Camtine looked at her and said, "If you want it, there will naturally be a way." Mui's face was mournful, almost tearful, as she looked at Camtine. "The person Hoang Khang likes is not me." With that, she took Camtine's large lantern and her pot of Red Spider Lily out into the courtyard of Lady Meng's abode. Mui was surprised to see him standing there. She knew her emotions were mixed, but to avoid being too obvious, she deliberately found something to start a conversation. "Why have all the leaves of the Red Spider Lily withered? Look." With that, she picked up the pot. Hoang Khang caressed the plant and said, "I wonder if it's because it was fertilized too much." Then he set the pot down and turned around to see Mui lighting a lantern. Hoang Khang seemed surprised to see lanterns being lit in the Underworld. Mui then explained, "The Underworld has 100,000 Underworld soldiers and over 100 demon guards. All of them have loved ones in the mortal realm, but they can't meet again. So, on the Day of Severed Ties, the Underworld soldiers and demon guards write the names of their loved ones on these sky lanterns and release them into the air to send their yearning." With that, Mui lit the sky lantern, and it slowly floated into the sky. The two stood on the ground, watching the lantern ascend. Hoang Khang looked at the words written on the lantern and asked, "Whose name is this, sister?" "This is Camtine's lantern. It's the person she misses." Camtine was now drunk, slumped over the table, seemingly deep in thought. Suddenly, a tear rolled down her cheek. The second day after the Day of Severed Ties, the Red Spider Lily had shed all its leaves and bloomed into a brilliant red flower. Hoang Khang did not appear today. On the third day, there was still no sign of him. Mui looked back at the gathered souls, searching for Hoang Khang, but saw no trace of him. This made her sad and disappointed. "Today is the third day already. I've realized one thing. Once a person tastes sweetness, they can no longer bear bitterness." Mui looked in the mirror, then looked sadly at the painting of Hoang Khang's beloved. She remembered Hoang Khang saying that Mui's eyes somewhat resembled the girl in the painting. Mui looked into the mirror, her sadness deepening. That afternoon, Mui went out to the courtyard of Lady Meng's abode and sat on a large rock, enjoying the wind. In her hand was the pot of bloomed Red Spider Lilies. Camtine was also there. Camtine came out of the house and offered Mui a bowl of Lady Meng's soup that she herself had cooked, hoping that, after drinking it, Mui would forget all memories of Hoang Khang and no longer feel sad. She walked out to the courtyard, seeing Mui sitting by the pot of bloomed Red Spider Lilies, gazing into the distance as if waiting for someone. Camtine, with her fiery temper, became angry and approached her. "You truly are foolish. If he's not here, are you just going to pack up your things and leave Huang Quan?" Mui seemed to be experiencing the sadness that first love brings. She then said, "It's been 13 days, and my Red Spider Lily has bloomed. Why hasn't Hoang Khang come yet?" Camtine, having also experienced this feeling, deeply empathized. She pondered for a moment, then handed the bowl of Lady Meng's soup to Mui. "Although it smells a bit unpleasant, you cooked it yourself. Try to drink a little." Mui, though naive, understood her friend's intentions. She gently refused. "No, I won't drink it. If I drink it, I won't remember Hoang Khang anymore. What if one day he comes here and I don't recognize him? What if he leaves forever then?" Camtine knew Mui's feelings for Hoang Khang were too deep. She sat beside her and made a suggestion. "When King Yama returns to the Underworld, I'll talk to him and arrange for Hoang Khang to marry you. Then you and Hoang Khang can work and live together in the Underworld, never aging, never dying, a perfect match." Mui remained seated, silent. Camtine continued, "Even if Hoang Khang comes back, he will grow old and die, and you won't be able to find him anymore." Mui picked up the bowl of soup and looked down, recalling her time with Hoang Khang. A tear fell from her eye and dissolved into the soup. The soup instantly glowed, emitting a light as if thousands of golden specks shimmered within. It now exuded an incredibly pleasant fragrance, no longer smelling unpleasant as before. Cam Tyne was overjoyed when she saw the soup. Mui, your soup has succeeded. Mui then remembered her mother's words from when she was alive. The recipe for the soup consisted of 8 drops of tears, 1 drop of living tears, 2 drops of illusionary tears, 3 drops of bitter tears, 4 drops of regret, 5 drops of longing, 6 drops of sickness, 7 drops of separation. On this 13th day, I finally know that the 8th ingredient is Lady Meng's tear of heartbreak. The next day, Underworld soldiers brought Hoang Khang into Lady Meng's abode. Cam Tyne was also there. She asked the soldiers in surprise, "Why are you arresting him?" The soldiers replied, "This man was found lurking around the entrance of Huang Quan, wanting to enter." Cam Tyne's eyes turned to Hoang Khang, full of suspicion. "What is your intention here?" Hoang Khang replied, "I heard Mui was ill. How is she doing now?" Cam Tyne, being very intelligent, seemed to have discerned Hoang Khang's hidden motive. She directly asked, "Hoang Khang, if you have no intentions towards Mui, then stop bothering her. While you're still alive, leave quickly." She pretended not to understand his intentions, hoping he would get the hint. Hoang Khang quickly defended himself. "It's not that I deliberately didn't come, but my master fell ill. I had to care for him every day, so I couldn't come here as usual. Please don't misunderstand." Cam Tyne, though she didn't fully believe Hoang Khang, wanted to give her friend another chance. "You are the best medicine to cure her illness right now. Go up there quickly. If anything goes wrong, I will kill you." Hoang Khang nodded, then went up to Mui's room. He walked in to find Mui lying on the bed, fast asleep. Hoang Khang approached her and called, "Sister Mui." Mui, hearing Hoang Khang's voice, suddenly awoke, opening her eyes. Hoang Khang gently said, "I'm back. I had a personal matter. After finishing it, I immediately came here." Mui looked at Hoang Khang with affectionate eyes. She sat up with Hoang Khang's help and leaned on his shoulder. She said, "Hoang Khang, have you really come back?" Hoang Khang gazed at Mui as if they hadn't seen each other in a long time. His voice was warm. "Why have you become so thin, sister?" Mui looked at Hoang Khang through tear-filled eyes, then smiled faintly. "So, there are no more wonderful delicacies. You don't want to eat anything anymore." Hoang Khang looked into her eyes and replied, "Then today, if you want to eat, just eat. I won't refuse anymore." Mui said nothing. Hoang Khang, seeing this, worriedly asked. Mui looked at Hoang Khang and threw herself into his arms. Hoang Khang worriedly replied, "You don't want to eat me and you don't want to eat anything else either. What should I do? If you eat my flesh, you won't see me again. If you still want to see me, you must try to eat other wandering souls. If not every day, then once a month is fine. If not even that, then once a year." As Mui spoke, she looked at Hoang Khang with tear-filled eyes, clearly understanding the depth of her feelings for him. She then continued, "Can you promise me, my love?" Hoang Khang looked at her. His head suddenly glowed, and a red dot on his forehead transformed into a red heart. Mui saw this and quickly reached out to touch it, but Hoang Khang took her hand. He pressed her hand against his cheek and said, "Tonight, I consent for you to eat me. If you wait until tomorrow, I won't allow it." Mui was somewhat surprised by Hoang Khang's sudden change in address, but she quickly composed herself. "I'm afraid I don't want to eat anymore." Hoang Khang seemed to disregard Mui's words. He then stood up, untied his clothes, approached her, and gently laid her down on the bed. "A few days ago, you were eager to eat me. Now that I'm here for you, why aren't you eating? It seems you were all talk." With that, Hoang Khang pressed himself close to her and continued, "This body I give to you. Will you eat it or not?" Then he gently kissed her neck, and what was to happen happened. The next day, Cam Tyne and the two of them sat at the table. Cam Tyne, sipping her wine, playfully teased them. "This little soul, he's quite something, isn't he?" Mui naively replied, "At first, it hurt a little, but then I felt incredibly comfortable." Cam Tyne laughed heartily and said, "You don't need to answer that. Things have come to this point. You two are soulmates, so you should stay together forever. Hey, Hoang Khang, do you want to marry Mui?" Hoang Khang then replied, I am a mortal who came here by separating my soul from my body. I don't know how I can be with Sister Mui forever. Cam Tyne pondered for a long time, as if thinking about something. Then she asked, with a hint of cautiousness, "Do you want to abandon everything in the mortal realm and come here to be with Mui for eternity?" Of course, the lifespan of mortals is only a few decades. Sister Mui will never age or die, her life eternal. I'm just afraid she will be lonely by herself. If you sincerely wish for it, the Underworld has a precedent for Lady Meng marrying. It's recorded in a hidden scroll in the archives. Mui looked at Cam Tyne in surprise and asked, "Why don't I know about this scroll? Where did it come from? And shouldn't she have a father?" That day, as Hoang Khang was about to return to the mortal realm, Mui ran out and embraced him from behind. "I can't bear to let you go. Once we're married, I won't go anywhere else. Until we're married, you and I can never be separated. If you want to go to the mortal realm, I will go with you to see flowers bloom and wither, like the endless rivers." With that, Hoang Khang turned and took Mui's hand. "If you find this place desolate, I will plant red spider lilies all over Huang Quan. Every day, when you wake up and open your window, you'll see an 800-mile sea of flowers, never-ending. In heaven and on earth, there is only you. It's getting late now. I must go back and report our matter to my master. Let me go now." Mui looked at Hoang Khang, smiled, and gently nodded. "Hoang Khang, you're planting a sea of flowers for me. I have nothing to give you, only this hairpin my mother left me. Please keep it." With that, she took the hairpin from her hair and gave it to Hoang Khang. This was considered their token of love. He took the hairpin, put it in his robe, and returned to the mortal realm. A brief note about the Yin Scroll in the Underworld. The Yin Scroll is a treasure of Huang Quan, controlling birth, death, and reincarnation. Only when Lady Meng marries can it be brought to Huang Quan. For Lady Meng to marry the consort of Huang Quan, his name must be crossed out with red ink in the Yin Scroll, and his life and death erased, so he can escape the cycle of reincarnation. Then he and Lady Meng can become husband and wife, living eternally in Huang Quan, never aging or dying. Mui's wedding was held the next day. She sat before the mirror, applying makeup and powder, dressed in a red silk wedding gown with golden accessories in her hair. Outside the hall, Hoang Khang was also present. He wore a groom's outfit with a green outer jacket and a red inner robe. However, Hoang Khang's expression today was somewhat unusual, hard to decipher. Hoang Khang suddenly looked at Cam Tyne, who was standing nearby, and gave a strange smile. Finally, it was time for the ceremony. Mui, in her bridal gown, descended from upstairs. Everyone watched her, captivated by her beauty. Hoang Khang looked at her, his smile unnatural, as if he was trying to hide something. He quickly went to Mui, took her hand, and from his sleeve took out the Yin Scroll, placing it on a tray held by a soldier. Hoang Khang's demeanor was now extremely unusual. He stealthily watched every movement of the Yin Scroll, as if he wanted to snatch it. No one seemed to notice Hoang Khang's strangeness. Cam Tyne said to Hoang Khang, "Now you just need to open that Yin Scroll, take the red pen, and cross out your name, Hoang Khang, and it's done." Hoang Khang heard this and was visibly joyful, but he suppressed it so no one would notice. He touched the Yin Scroll, about to open it. Outside, his master, Than Enhan, the Taoist priest, entered with an apologetic expression. "I apologize everyone for arriving late today. Today is Mui's and my disciples' big day. How could I not be here? Hello everyone, it's been a long time. I never expected it. I never expected my disciple to have such a predestined connection. It's truly a joyous occasion." For some reason, Cam Tyne didn't have a good feeling about this Taoist priest Than Enhan. But since it was a big event and she didn't want to spoil the atmosphere, Cam Tyne just said softly, "Have you finished all the words of the patriarch? Let's proceed with the ceremony quickly." Hearing this, Hoang Khang's master quickly grabbed one side of the scroll. As they prepared for the ceremony, Mui looked at Hoang Khang for a long time, as if she was beginning to realize something. She said, "Hoang Khang, why are you so different today? Why do you no longer have that sweet fragrance but are completely tasteless? Looking at you like this, my heart doesn't feel happy at all." Hoang Khang glanced at his master, as if conveying something, and his master also looked at him, seeming to respond. Then he quickly opened the Yin Scroll. Hoang Khang's name was not on the scroll, instead, it was a different name. Mui looked at it in horror. You're not Hoang Khang." Discovered, Hoang Khang flew up into the air and landed back on the ground, revealing her true form, a girl. It was none other than the girl in Hoang Khang's painting, Cunning. In her hand, she had just managed to snatch the yin scroll. Camtine realized everything was a trap and furiously shouted, "Who dares to cause trouble in this place? Do you know where this is and who I am?" Mui looked at the girl and said, "It's Cunning. Cunning replied with a very smug look, "That's right, Hoang Khang's name isn't here and he won't be coming." Mui looked at Cunning's hair and saw a hairpin, or rather, the hairpin that was the token of love she had given to Hoang Khang. Mui's eyes widened. "That hairpin in your hair, did Hoang Khang give it to you?" Cunning then said triumphantly, "I don't know where he got it from, but I don't like this hairpin at all. Yet he insisted on putting it in my hair. I'm not a ghost. I'm not dead, so how can I be a ghost? Today, living people can come to Huang Quan. You're still wondering why Hoang Khang came to Lady Meng's abode every day, aren't you? It's because a year ago, I contracted a critical illness with no cure. Hoang Khang, being anxious, came up with this idea. If he couldn't cure my illness, then he would go to the Underworld and steal the yin scroll to erase my name, so I wouldn't have to die anymore." Mui seemed to understand everything. Her eyes welled up with tears as she looked at Cunning. "So that's how it is." Camtine, hearing their conversation, felt her blood boil. She looked at Cunning with eyes sharp as knives and snapped, "You demon spirit, even if you erase your name, you won't be able to leave Huang Quan. Remember whose plan this was. I had to send you to hell to suffer for thousands of lifetimes." With that, Camtine ordered her Underworld soldiers to attack, but Mui stopped them. "Wait." Then Mui walked over to Cunning and continued, tearfully, "You wear that hairpin beautifully, much more beautifully than I do. Hoang Khang and you are truly soulmates." He looked at you and his heart was filled with joy. "Of course, did he also feel happy seeing you? It has nothing to do with me. This time, Hoang Khang wasted all his efforts only to be with you forever. If that's the case, then let him fulfill his wish. Cunning, you should erase your name and quickly return the yin scroll to me. I won't help you anymore." Camtine was furious at Mui's kindness. She said, "Who gave you that right? I don't want to hear it." With that, Mui, her eyes still tearful, smiled bitterly and said with deep disappointment, "Consider today that I've learned. My beloved, I truly love you. I wish the best for you. If you live well, I will be happy. As long as you live well, whether I'm well or not, I'll still be happy. That is true love, to truly love someone like Hoang Khang, so be it. You can deceive me. I just want you to be well. If you're happy, I'm happy. Camtine, just ignore me." Camtine then shook her head. "This girl is truly foolish." Mui walked closer to Cunning and said, "Hoang Khang said my eyes resembled yours, but meeting you today, they don't resemble them at all. If that's the case, then I give up on you. Cunning, goodbye here. I will take this yin scroll." Camtine roared, ordering the Underworld soldiers to charge, but Than Enhan quickly flew towards the door, waiting for Cunning to disappear from Lady Meng's abode. Camtine realized the situation was urgent, so she immediately ordered a demon guard to send a message to King Yama. A villain had stolen the yin scroll, and King Yama must immediately send 100,000 Underworld soldiers to Huang Quan to apprehend Cunning. Than Enhan, triumphant, revealed his true colors. He let out a sinister laugh. "Everyone, wait, don't make a sound. My disciple, Cunning will take the yin scroll out of Huang Quan. Until then, no one can leave this place." Camtine sneered. "Earlier, I was unprepared. Now, do you think you can rely on yourself alone?" Than Enhan then gave a slight smile and quickly cast a spell, creating a barrier surrounded by wooden swords. These swords were made from the wood of a sacred tree on Mount That Sun, specifically used to counter Underworld demon guards. With that, he used his magic to send the swords charging forward. He also grabbed a sword and charged. At this moment, at the gate of Huang Quan, Hoang Khang was standing there. Cunning appeared, holding the yin scroll, and said, "Hoang Khang, today you must wait for me on Mount That Sun. I have obtained the yin scroll. From now on, our sect can live eternally and forever retain our youth." With that, she took Hoang Khang's hand. "You came to Huang Quan for me to make Mui suffer. You must have endured many hardships." Hoang Khang pulled his hand away, looking annoyed. "You've erased your name, so why take the yin scroll too? This scroll is very useful. How can you just abandon it?" As Hoang Khang grew sad to the point of crying, tears welled up. He grabbed her hand, intending to pull her along, but she pulled her hand back, surprising Con and Gap. Why are you crying? Do you like that Lady Meng? I've liked you for many years, while that Lady Meng has only known you for a few months. When I was little, I met her. I told her that her eyes resembled yours. The first time I met you, when you were only 11 years old, you came and went alone every day. One day, we ate dinner opposite each other. You stared at me, dumbfounded. I asked you what you were looking at. You said my eyes resembled the eyes of someone you had met. That person was very scary. She was eager to eat you, but her eyes were very beautiful. It turns out she doesn't resemble me, I resemble her. It turns out the person you've always liked is her, not me. Con and Gap offered the Yin scroll to Hoang Khang, but seeing him determined to return to Huang Quan to return it, she quickly said, Hoang Khang, I advise you not to go back. Suddenly, countless streaks of blue light in the sky converged towards Lady Meng's abode. Inside Lady Meng's abode, Than En Han and the Underworld forces were battling fiercely. After a long fight, Than En Han's magic seemed to weaken from exhaustion. Seeing this, Mui lunged forward. Fangs immediately protruded from her mouth, and she revealed her true form, a colossal snake spirit. She lunged towards Than En Han, intending to devour him. Than En Han, now terrified, said, Wait, Mui, I am your father. Mui was startled and paused. Than En Han then continued. This scene, 600 years ago, I also experienced it, Mui. You are 600 years old, aren't you? Your mother, the previous Lady Meng. When I was 19, I got lost in Huang Quan and accidentally met your mother. Then we had you. And you believed me and your mother would stay in Huang Quan. On your wedding day, your mother brought the Yin scroll to erase my name. But then I was terrified, because the mortal realm has endless beauty. No matter how beautiful Lady Meng was, I couldn't bear to stay in Huang Quan for eternity. So, when my name was half erased, I panicked and ran away. My life was prolonged, but ultimately I couldn't escape death. My time is almost up. I don't want to die, so I came down to deceive you and take the Yin scroll. At the gate of Huang Quan, Con and Gap said to Hoang Khang, the Yin scroll is no small matter. The Underworld is protected by many Underworld soldiers, so Master invited various sects to block them. Today is the Hatch Dang Day, which occurs once every 300 years. If we miss today, there will be no other chance. It will probably be a fierce battle. I was never sick. Master used you to set this trap. You thought you were a deceiver. In fact, you were just a pawn. Hoang Khang was surprised but quickly regained his composure and spoke as if he no longer cared. The hairpin in your hair, I never gave it to you. You stole it and wore it. Why? How shameless. She threw the hairpin to the ground. Hoang Khang bent down and picked it up. Con and Gap then sighed, If you go back, Master won't let you off. You're not human. Master only needs to squeeze gently. Before she could finish, Hoang Khang quickly vanished and appeared at Lady Meng's abode. Continuing the conversation inside Lady Meng's abode, the old Than En Han said, Do you want to kill your father? Mother said I don't have a father. If I don't have one, then you are not my father, Mui retorted. Than En Han, fearing death, unleashed his ultimate move. He picked up a tiny clay figurine and raised his hand, threatening her. If you touch your father, Hoang Khang will turn into dust. Hoang Khang was not human. Father created him by molding a spiritual orifice from clay and nurturing his soul within it. Mui kept talking nonsense and hesitated to eat the old Than En Han. Cam Tine then urged her, This old man is a demon spirit who has lived for a long time. Do you still believe his words? Mui replied, Today, in my room, I looked at the Yin scroll, intending to erase Hoang Khang's name first. But Hoang Khang's name was not in the Yin scroll. At that moment, I knew Hoang Khang was not human. Cam Tine then said regretfully, No matter what he is, he's as evil as that old man. Mui, however, shouted defiantly, I don't want him to die. If the Yin scroll is lost, you and I cannot bear the responsibility. As she was speaking, a sword emanating blue light suddenly flew through the door and pierced Mui's abdomen. After that, a series of spiritual swords flew in and killed the Underworld soldiers. Seeing this, Than En Han's master and his fellow disciples also soared in. He then shouted, The Yin scroll is hidden in Lady Meng's abode. Quick, seize it, we will live forever. Cam Tine and the remaining Underworld soldiers charged. Old Than En Han, holding the clay figurine, approached the wounded Mui. If you resist, Father will crush this clay figurine. Father will show you why you're so infatuated with Hoang Khang. Years ago, before leaving, Father took one of your spiritual orifices. That's how Hoang Khang was created, so you naturally feel drawn to him." His disciples then shouted, "The Underworld soldiers have arrived." Old Than Enhan then flew high into the sky with his fellow Taoists and quickly escaped from Lady Meng's abode before the Underworld soldiers arrived. Before leaving, he didn't forget to cast a spell, summoning a rain of wooden swords down upon the Underworld, intending to wipe out the Underworld soldiers. Mui, already wounded, was further harmed by the spiritual swords falling from the sky. The battlefield was in complete chaos. Camtine ordered her soldiers to protect Lady Meng quickly. The pot of Red Spider Lilies also fell to the ground and was struck by the evil swords, leaving only scattered, crushed petals. Mui lay there, helpless and crying. On his way to rescue Mui, Hoang Khang encountered his master. Old Than Enhan knew Hoang Khang was no longer loyal and had no more use, so he destroyed the clay figurine. Hoang Khang's heart suddenly constricted, but at this moment, he no longer cared, only wanting to fly directly to Lady Meng's abode to save Mui. Upon arriving, Hoang Khang saw Mui tied to a wooden pillar, with Than Enhan's remaining disciples still there. Hoang Khang became enraged and shouted, "You people usually call yourselves immortals, but today you invade Huang Quan, no different from bandits. You dared to harm a girl? Let me tell you, she is my wife. Today, I will risk my life to protect her." Seeing Hoang Khang holding the yin scroll, the men stabbed him with their swords, then snatched the yin scroll. Hoang Khang's body was now severely weakened, but he still spoke loudly and clearly. "You won't kill Lady Meng." One of them said, "Then I'll just create 10,000 more swords." With that, they stabbed Mui repeatedly. Hoang Khang returned and embraced Lady Meng, crying, "You won't die. It's my fault. I believed in my master. There is only one way to help you fight the yin scroll. This world originally had no Hoang Khang. I was created from one of your spiritual orifices. Now that I return to you, you will have all 7 spiritual orifices, and only then will you become a true Lady Meng. Mui, from now on, you and I will never be separated." With that, Hoang Khang's image gradually faded and merged into Mui's body. At this moment, Mui transformed into a colossal snake spirit and flew out of Lady Meng's abode. The people outside were terrified and scattered. The snake wrapped around them, biting and killing them one by one. Then it flew off, chasing old Than Enhan, who was fleeing towards the mortal realm with the yin scroll. Unfortunately for the old man, Mui, in her true snake spirit form, devoured him before he could achieve his goal. The yin scroll automatically flew back to the Underworld. Hoang Khang, for some reason, had not yet dissipated. The Underworld soldiers were apprehending him, intending to imprison him in hell forever, preventing him from reincarnating. The snake spirit rushed to Hoang Khang, flung the Underworld soldiers away, then lifted Hoang Khang and flew out of Lady Meng's abode. After flying for a while, Mui said to Hoang Khang, "Today you have caused a great catastrophe. The Underworld no longer has a place for you to belong. I will send you out. Do not return, my love. You and I must part ways here. Hoang Khang, if you live well, I will be happy. If you want to live forever with boundless lifespan, will you forget me?" With that, Mui flung Hoang Khang, causing him to fall freely through the air. Hoang Khang escaped Huang Quan. King Yama, enraged, ordered the 3 realms to apprehend Hoang Khang. In the subsequent tales, Hoang Khang returned to Huang Quan many times to look for Mui, but never found her. Lady Meng's abode was now nothing but a desolate place, covered in weeds. One day, Hoang Khang decided to stay and rebuild the place, hoping Mui would return. Knowing that Mui loved red spider lilies, Hoang Khang planted a forest of red spider lilies there. It looked like a red silk carpet. Fulfilling his old promise, Hoang Khang had vowed to Mui that he would plant a vast sea of red spider lilies for her. Hoang Khang remained there, century after century, forever waiting for Mui to return. Hai and Min, munching on almond cookies, looked at Mrs. Bay as if they had a question after hearing the story. Hai, acting as their spokesperson, asked, "Grandma Bay, does love exist even in the Underworld?" Mrs. Bay gently explained, "Yes, spirits are just like us humans. They also have emotions, happiness, anger, love, and hate, just like mortals, and they also have love." Min, his heart soaring, said to Mrs. Bay, "I love hearing stories like this from you, Grandma Bay." This summer, I'll definitely come back to hear more stories about life in the underworld, Grandma Bay. Mrs. Bay chuckled and shook her head, looking helpless. Hai then added, "That's right, Grandma Bay. You promised to tell us stories forever, didn't you? This time it was about Lady Meng's soup and love in the underworld. Next time, Grandma Bay, tell us about the reincarnation ritual, about that bridge that souls have to cross before reincarnation." Mrs. Bay then nodded. "All right. Next time I'll tell you children about the Nace Bridge. Is that good enough? It's already 1:30 p.m. Go home now or your mother will come looking for you and give you a beating."